Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel. And let's start. Lost compass, getting back to integrity. Ah, okay, well. Skywriting the fates. Root girl, the disowned self. The bottom of the deck, Horseman, Herald of Change. But it's interesting, because this card has never come up in a reading so far. That's change, isn't it? Let's have him there. Yeah. No. Ooh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, transformation. It seems to me that you are trying to get back to integrity. You know, it could be that you are that you have made some that you have made some things in your life, and you thought that this would help to find your integrity, but what in fact did it ended up being leaving you in a lost state even more so than before, right? Because you notice how easily it gets for you to get out of alignment a bit, right? It's a alignment that you know, for example, if you are traveling and in the hopes of getting things sorted or improving somewhat, but the reality of it is that you notice that you just take your shadow with you, because of course you are you, right? And it made you realize that this wasn't it either, even though some parts of it were it, you know. And that's how we explore life, you know. It's this we feel stuck, right? We feel stuck and bored, and then we break out, and you know, we look out of the window. It's always, you know, with high anticipation, we look out of the window and assume things that you know, it's the traveling thing is the best example for it. If you look out the window and think about traveling and think that this would solve an issue for you, or just light up your mood, or just get you unstuck, and you do that, and yeah, it might help you to increase your step count, right? But as soon as you are back in behind your own window, right? Yeah, well, it's the same. You are in the same where you in the same situation where you have been. That's the brown star. It's the same pattern that evolves, like that you have when you are in your old circumstance, when you return, because traveling is just a break, right? It's a break, and it's not we're traveling the world itself. It's this you go somewhere, but you don't you don't do it forever, right? You just go somewhere. But it could also be, you know, every travel you make, even if you think that you have lost your compass or that you have taken a step back, you know, when you come back and you are in the same situation, but in a way a little bit more traveled, right? It still gives you something back, and that is knowledge, life experience, you know, because when you come back from a travel and you've seen some things that you always wanted to do, maybe you crossed off some countries from your bucket list, right? Still, you come back and do the same, and you feel even more lost than before. And you also know that maybe you have started to do, you know, during the travels, maybe you felt like you should be happy, but you were not. You didn't enjoy it half as much as you thought you would. And this is making you more sad, right? Because it's not what you had planned. And those are your roots. Yeah, the disowned self. You try to find something that gives you yourself back, your authentic self, because you have the feeling that you are lost, right? Because it's just it's this feeling of being stuck. It's this you were unsatisfied with what you had, and so you went out and experienced something else. And there's always the first excitement of, yay, I'm doing it. But then it fades off quite quickly. Because it's just, you know, you get into a different routine, but you still have a routine. And you also might acknowledge more the things that you have left behind. Right? And this gives you, makes you notice your roots, but it also makes you notice the things that you would like to change. And I think there is, you know, with this herald of change, there's this feeling of, I think the feeling that you liked about traveling was this exploring new areas. And not seeing the same every time, but also noticing the same everywhere you go. Because if you look, it's this classical thing when you look out of the window and the grass is greener somewhere else, right? But when in fact it isn't. And you now know that this is not either, which is a good lesson that you have learned. And I think, but nonetheless, I think you're still, you know, it's still intriguing because it gave you some sense of adventure. And this adventure thing is something that you are missing in your life, I think, in the day-to-day. That's just based on roots experience. You know, there's a child there. So a child wants to, you know, a child just explores the world and its wonders without any previous judgments and without a lot of experience. So therefore, for a child, life is like traveling, because life is always an adventure. Everything, you know. When a child eats mud, it's just because it's curious. It doesn't know what mud tastes like or maybe even consists of, right? We adults, we wouldn't dare to eat a mud cake, right? Because we know that this pile of sand probably has been used by a cat as a litter box previous to that. So we wouldn't do that. But a child just doesn't care and doesn't know, right? But still, there's this, the fates. It's, you want to heal, but you want to heal, but you want to find, healing is not about, healing is not traveling, traveling is only, we only, if we go down the classical route of traveling, we only can afford traveling in this system and structure we are living in for a certain amount of time before we are forced to go back to our old life. Mostly because of money, right? Because, of course, it's a more expensive lifestyle if you don't, if you rely on having to buy accommodation for yourself, and it's always more expensive than renting, for example, right? I mean, you could be rich also. That would probably, even if you were rich, travel is not, the intention of travel is not that you are doing it all the time. It's to give you a break, right? And healing is often looked at as something like traveling. You do it once, for example, you overcome an addiction, you do that once, and then you don't do it again, ideally. Or you lose all the weight and change your eating habits, and then you're healed. But it's not like traveling, because healing continues after a while, because if you are not cautious of your lifestyle, you can easily go back to the old habits. It's like coming back to your old home and after traveling, and it did something to you, but still, you're engaging in the same things. And that's a mistake that we look at from healing, because healing it means that you become a traveler full time, that traveling is your home, right? It means that healing is your home every day. And that you every day make the choices that are required to continue you to become or be healed. This, right? It's like taking a shower, thinking that you are clean now, right? You're clean. You took the shower, but after a few days, you just start smelling again, right? And you, at least, but if you think that one shower is it, you have to repeat it every day. And I think your struggle is that you are bored by this, because you have to do it every day, and it's a repetition. And there's some sort, it seems to me that you're just a little bit bored because there's no adventure in it, in a way, right? Because those changes that you are making to heal are so small in a way, they don't appear to have a big impact, even though they have over this time span. If you would continue to do the same old things, the unhealed things every day, imagine where you'd be in 10 years. And if you are doing engaging in better habits, making better choices every day, just imagine where you'd be then 10 years from now. You have the wisdom. It's just about finding a healing lifestyle and the joy in this without the feeling that it is just traveling and you will arrive somewhere, because there's no such thing as arriving at a final destination. Because in a way, even if we are located in a position that is not traveling in a way, we are still traveling, because the earth is moving, but we are also traveling through our lives. And the key to this is to find to get back to integrity, is to find the compass within those seemingly unadventurous moments. And life is like that, most of it, right? There's no such thing as constant excitement and constant exploration. Even if you were traveling for all your life, it might also get boring for you, So I think what this journey has shown you is that even though you are trying to find the excitement for yourself, there is no such thing as constant excitement and change, big change, It's more about the small things that add up to the big picture. Yeah, it's about working on the things constantly, every day, and finding the adventure in the small moments. And I think it's easier said than done, because it leaves you in a state of sadness about this. But the main issue is, if you are healing from everything completely, it gives you back something else. It could also be that this travel has thrown you back into some old habits that you thought you had overcome, but suddenly, first day in, you have bad habits again, and you notice how easily you get out of alignment. It's very fragile when you engage in healing and maybe overcoming some bad habits when you are in a different circumstance. And the key to this is to not be influenced by circumstance at all. Never. It's about becoming your own compass and becoming being stable and not becoming a rock. Yeah. Rocks usually, unless you apply a really big force, they don't change that much, right? Like they can be formed, yes, but it takes a lot of time and you want to have a stable rock existence, no matter what life throws at you. But at the moment, I think you are more like a feather, which is not, there's no judgment about this. But what you personally wanted to find is your stability. And the resilience to not go back to those old things that you thought that you already had overcome, but now are being thrown back at. It's the cycle. I don't know if this reading is helpful. I mean, what is this about? I'm getting very silent now, right? Because, well, this is, you try to get out of being stuck and try to grab some excitement, right? But the real excitement is becoming your best self. But this is a self-made prison, right? But it's also your darkness, and by making it conscious, it's you are aware of that. That's a good step already, right? It's just how to apply this in your everyday, how to become a traveler even though you are actually not traveling, at least from a circumstance, because that's not about it. It's not. It's about healing and nothing else. And no external circumstance can give you the excitement or the healing that you are looking for. You have to find it somewhere inside you, and then it reflects outwards. So skywriting the fates. Yeah, when you are dreaming about future potentials, and this even includes somewhat healing, because then you are always dreaming about something that is not there yet, and you are always in a state of, look what I don't have, or thinking about what you don't have, right? Because you are, it's this sitting at home, looking out of the window and imagining how nice it would be to travel, without acknowledging the beauty that you already are sitting within. Right? And therefore you know that the real travel you want to take or continue to engage with is yourself. Right? Because that's the fun of it. And I'm pretty sure that you get there. I just find it interesting that this picture is looking like the tree is being cut and then growing again, right? It just looks like that, like it has been cut and then something else is growing, because the roots are in the sky. And they are coming out of the head, right? Of this figure. It's almost like this figure is trying to hold on to roots which are not meant to be hold on to. It's the when you are still, you know, holding on to old habits because they give you stability, right? And if you surrender to this, and if you surrender to healing, and let go of those roots, because those roots are the wrong ones you are holding on to. Then you get your compass back. Herald of Change. Well, you know, those are all just lessons we are learning, and we don't stop to learn them, right? I'm just also feeling very tired in this whole reading. That's why it's coming a bit, at least it feels like it's coming slowly, but it's like a rock, you know, the consciousness of a rock is very slow. And a horseman, you know, is riding on a horse. Suddenly I'm also getting a message of that you wish you could have a healing partner. But is it that? That's another external circumstance that you don't need, right? It's not, you don't need that. But maybe you are also a little bit too much in your head, thinking about everything, right? This whole reading feels lost. It's almost as if there's no future to write about. Even though there is, of course, always, right? It's just that there's no destination. Yeah, there's no destination in a way. No point. It's a constant wander, and that's what traveling is about, a constant wander. You don't arrive somewhere. Well, you know you have to go back someday, but right? But you are just wandering. Wandering to find some place. But there's no destination. We think about it, right? We always have goals in mind and things like that, but what if there is no destination? It just wants to point that out, that you should think about what if there was no destination? What if there's no point? And what you would do with it. because we always tend to have the feeling that if we arrive somewhere, that this will be it. You know? That we will reach some destination, and once we've reached it, things will be better. But what if there is no destination and no point of arrival and no thing like that? What would this do to you? Okay. It's for me, the answer is that's coming. It's bringing you back to the now, because now is the destination. Yeah. Okay. A new start is coming. Okay. Well, and expect powerful change. Well, it's interesting. So yeah, I don't really feel the urge to talk about those cards. Just acknowledge them, and it's okay, I guess. And suddenly it's the mood is a bit better. It was a bit struggled, but now it's getting a bit better with this a new start and expect powerful change. I think you want powerful change, good change, you know. So yeah, maybe that's the key. No destination is the key. Yeah. Well, let's see who this reading is for. Taurus. Well then. Additional info is in the litter box below, and see you next time. Bye bye.